true equality can never really exist because we are a sea of individuals, all unique in our own ways, and that's okay. But we face an extreme amount of pressure from society to adhere to a universal idea of what it means to be a functioning member of society or a person. Now, this pressure inherently comes from our gender or sex. Now, for the sake of time today, we're going to only talk about our biological sex, your XX chromosomes or your XY chromosomes. And that's where the root of the problem really surfaces in our toxic viewpoints of masculinity and femininity. And so that's why I feel, as a woman, I have to put on a full face of makeup to be considered professional, which means primer, foundation, contour, mascara, and fake eyelashes even, and make my eyebrows all angular like geometry. But those things don't make me happy. And the pressure that men and women feel to conform to these sets of ideals can reach a point of toxicity, which is what we're going to talk about today. Toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. Now, what is the problem with these two things? Well, when it comes to toxic masculinity, by defining men by their conquests and their aggression, we display a toxic view on the male. More toxic masculinity would be expecting men to always be in perfect physical shape. You know, that 4-pack of abs, biceps the size of your head, the chiseled jawline, the perfect hair. But these things aren't realistic expectations. And furthermore, whenever we expect men and boys to withhold their emotions, don't cry. It's not what men do. Men don't cry. All of these things push men into a state of emotional disarray because they're not expected and they're not taught to deal with this emotional stress. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, toxic femininity, where women are expected to be small, thin, and submissive. Women are expected to be mothers. Women are expected to do so many things, to adhere to a gender that they didn't pick. And furthermore, we use such negative language, not just for women, but portraying it and pressing it upon men to reduce their masculinity. Oh, you're a pussy, man, is an insult. But why should being called a pussy be an insult? There's nothing wrong with it. And women are portrayed as having an erratic emotional state, when in actuality we're just taught to portray our emotions and deal with our emotions, whereas men are taught to suppress them and lock them away in their man box. You hit like a girl should not be an insult towards anybody. Cause of all this, why is this a thing? Well, it stems from our inability to change as we evolve. In history, we see that men are larger, stronger, and faster than women, which means they are the dominant. They are the gender that's protective and that hunts and that does all of these things. Whereas women can reproduce. Boom, bam, that's our skill. Over time, we haven't changed this perspective, and men are no longer expected to be the breadwinners, and women are no longer expected to sit at home and be a mother and clean. Changed over time, they have evolved, but humanity's concept and perception has not evolved with it, except in all the new genders that we're coming up with. But what's the solution? How do we fix this? It's simple, really. Being conscious. being aware that this is a problem, and being aware that every time you speak, you have the potential to hurt another human being by pressing these toxic gender roles upon them. So the next time your friend messes up whenever he swings a baseball bat, don't tell him he hits like a girl, because women play softball and they're pretty good at it too. And ladies, next time you meet a guy that doesn't have that perfect chiseled body or that perfect hair and he's emotional, don't discredit him, because he's trying, just like all of us, to be true to our individuality and to shake those toxic gender roles that they feel every single day.